Good day and welcome to MLS on MBS. I'm Kitty Cat11231. We are live in Celina, where Celina and Winterside are about to go head-to-head in their series for MLS Season 4. The first game of the series is Celina's home game here in Celina. After that, we're going to go to Winterside for Winterside's home game. I suppose Not Short will be reffing.
Excuse me.
He's standing in the middle.
Whoever wants to do a countdown, do a countdown.
Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready?
Ready.
Vicky, are you ready?
I am ready.
She is ready. 3, 2, 1, go. And they're off.
And that clicking you hear is the automated snowball disposal of the Celina speaker. So far, Vicky has been taking defensive action to essentially keep herself away from Eden. Right now, it looks like they are in a bit of a standoff. Vicky is, I believe, one of the only people in this MLS season so far who has not yet been defeated. Vicky did make it to the Shovelers Cup playoffs in MLS Season 3. But so obviously...
You know Island so quickly.
I call Island.
Oh, yeah, that looks like... Vicky, if you want to just dig a little more out to make sure it's an official island, then we'll just reset the field.
Island.
Alright, we have an official island having been created. The field gets reset. The score is still 0-0. It looks like both of the players playing a rather defensive game today.
Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready?
Ready.
Ready.
3, 2, 1, go. And they're off.
And repeating that pattern, digging a large trench in between each other, each of them with just about half the field. That's a pretty evenly split field with that trench there. Eden digging some trenches over on his side. Vicky crosses over. It looks like Vicky is acting slightly more offensively now. She now retreats over to the area that Eden was originally cornering himself in. Looks like basically dancing. Ooh, that looked close right there for both teams. Getting a little bit more aggressive right now. But both teams are still playing pretty defensively. As Eden crosses, ooh, and they are getting close, and Vicky scores the first point. That is 1-0 in favor of Celina.
I'm ready.
Ready.
Both players have signaled that they are ready. 3, 2, 1, go.
And they're off again. So it looks like they are repeating their previous dynamic, where they're digging a large trench between each other. Something that we see in a lot of MLS games. Ooh, Eden making some offensive moves. Vicky digs out. Ooh, Eden is on an island right now. And this looks like it's turned into a standoff. course, some players are more defensive than others. Vicky is known to be a pretty defensive player, although the most famous defensive player is Dragon Bloom, who makes all Spleef games excruciating to watch for his refusal to make any offensive moves. But as you can see right here, a pretty big trench down the middle of the field, but with a narrow crossing point over on the end. And it looks like Needon is eyeing that crossing point, but not really getting that close to it. They are in a defensive standoff right now. Vicky is not even moving at all. She's standing completely still, while Needon is moving back and forth, signaling like he's about to cross over, but he digs some of the snow, backs off as Vicky starts to come in that direction. Now Vicky makes a move like she's about to cross, and Vicky is crossing over. Vicky's on a smaller island. Ooh, Vicky looking like she was making an offensive move, but she retreated there. They're once again on opposite sides of that big trench. Needon making some gestures as if he's about to jump. As Vicky moves over to the other side of that half of the field, as if she's trying to get Needon to make the jump across. Needon walking back over to the middle of his divided side of the field. And it looks like he is creating an official island. That is an island.
I'm calling that an island.
That is a draw. Field reset. The score is still 1-0 in favor of Celina.
Ready.
Ready.
3, 2, 1, go.
Once again, that big trench, although this time it looks like the field is less evenly divided. Vicky has a slightly... Needon comes over to Vicky's side as they sort of divide the field now into 3 sections, one of which twice as big as the other 2, and they are both on the 2 smaller sections of the field, both apart from each other by a pretty thin trench. Vicky crosses over to that big expanse right over there, Needon digging some snow to make the trench wider, Vicky making some moves like she's about to cross over, but then not doing so. Just walking back and forth, and makes a motion like she's about to jump, but backs off at the last minute. Needon crosses over to that side, Vicky now crosses over there. And they're still in a standoff, but opposite a different trench from each other. Vicky crossing over, making it look like she's about to come close to Needon, but backing off as Needon digs out the path in front of her. It looks like Vicky is basically switching back and forth between 2 islands right now, while Needon is remaining on the 3rd island on the field. Looks like the save has started. If there's one rule about the save starting, it's that you better run, because otherwise you'll get dug out under you, as I've taken advantage of in this game I was playing in. Ooh, it looks like Vicky gets cornered on a small island, but manages to escape. She's back on the biggest of the big islands. Now, Needon is on an island. It is not an official island. There are points of prop. All of the field is still legally connected. But this is a very defensive game. Oh, and that is... And Vicky falls in the hole. The game is now tied 1-1. That is a point for Winterside.
Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready?
Ready.
Ready.
3, 2, 1, go.
When they get very close to each other right at the start there before digging out the trench between each other, continuing to play pretty defensively. digging out that big chunk, dividing the field roughly in half before Needon comes up. Ooh, they are playing more aggressively now. Needon falls in. And that is a point for Celina. Celina is once again in the lead, 2-1.
Ready.
Both
Ready.
players have indicated. 3, 2, 1, go.
It's been a defensive game, but that last round was less defensive than the previous rounds. Some offensive moves were made, ultimately ended in Vicky's favor. We can see right now the way that they've got a trench split, it's kind of like the trench is sort of an arc shape, while Needon has the area on top of the arc, and Vicky has the whole area below it. And they are once again in a defensive standoff. Vicky moving like she's about to jump over, and then backing off. Something that we recurringly see not only in this but in other split games as well. Needon also making motions as if he's about to jump over. Vicky jumps over to Needon's side of the arc. They start to dig a trench, separating their sides, and Vicky goes back over to the bottom side of that arc trench. Still in a defensive standoff. Both players running back and forth. Vicky making moves as if she's about to jump, but once again backing down from actually doing so. Making like sprint running right towards the edge, right towards a jumping point, but then not jumping in order to make Needon think that she's about to jump. They are pretty close to each other. Vicky standing completely motionless right now. Moving over that way. Needon is just running back and forth while Vicky seems to be leisurely strolling across her side of the field, keeping her eye on Needon. Their eyes locked on each other. And it is still a defensive standoff. Needon coming close to the edge and then backing away. Vicky doing the same, coming close to the edge, backing away, making move. Oh, and Vicky jumps over to that small part of the island over there, still separated from Needon by. Oh, and they are both on the big part. An offensive move made there by Vicky, which Needon pulls off against. Vicky retreats over, and they've basically inversed position now, and are once again standing off. Vicky and Needon both making moves like they are about to jump, but again, neither of them is making the jump.
4 minutes.
They are quite close to each other right now, both pretty much on directly adjacent to each other across the trench. Ooh, Vicky digs on the other side of the trench, but can't reach far enough to actually get Needon over on his side. Needon digging some snow to make the trench wider. Vicky goes over to that island in the corner. They're getting pretty close to each other. Vicky jumps over. Oh, they're getting close. They are getting close. Ooh, close call for Celina. Celina retreating back that way. And back to their defensive positions. Needon digs out that side. And it is still not an official island yet. It is still not an official island. There still is a possible crossing point for Vicky and Needon to go to each other's location. Actually, well, Vicky just created another island, so that is an official island, and field will be reset. That round is a draw. The score is still 2-1 in favor of Celina. If someone wants to reset the field.
Can we pause to allow some viewers to watch the SpaceX launch?
No. Alright, are you guys ready?
I'll do both at the same time. Give me just a second.
We're waiting for the launch.
Yes.
That's
All right, I'm ready. I have it open on my second window.
Alright, Needon, are you ready?
Let me just find the launch.
40 seconds.
It's pretty hard playing Minecraft in a spaceship.
Go for launch.
Needon, are you ready? Needon?
Oh yeah, I guess.
Okay, Vicky and Needon, I'm gonna do the countdown. 3, 2, 1, go.
Off the rocket goes.
Yeah, I was about like 10 seconds behind on the SpaceX stream.
Alright, this time it looks
I just pulled up
like
the first one I found. It was NBC News, and it was like 40 seconds behind SpaceX stream. I don't really know what is real time at this point.
looks like they've got the field divided into unequal thirds. On different islands at the moment. Ooh, getting quite close to each other right there. But neither of them getting spleefed in. Still in a defensive standoff. Needon is cornering himself on an island. He's not. And that is an official island. Field reset. Are both of you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Ready.
3, 2, 1, go. And they're once again digging one big trench down the field. Vicky having what looks like a smaller area of the field than Needon. Who Needon cross it, makes an offensive move, and the game is now tied 2-2. A successful offensive move by Needon. Are both of you ready? Vicky and Needon, are you ready?
Ready.
Ready.
3, 2, 1, go. Vicky getting a smaller area of the field than Needon, the trench sort of resembling the letter J. Ooh, they cross over to the same side. Needon playing more offensively right now. Ooh, Vicky crossing over. Now Vicky has the largest expanse of the field, while Needon is on a relatively small island right there. Needon crosses over. Ooh. Somewhat of a close call. Needon making some moves like he's about to jump over. A pretty big gap, but still not an official island. And they are once once again in a defensive standoff. You can still hear that clicking, especially when we're over in this part of the field. That is the automated snowball dispensing mechanism that Celina's arena is known for. Vicky now coming closer up to Needham, playing quite defensively. Needham looks like he does not want to leave that island. Both of them. Oh, Vicky crossing over to get close to Needham. They are. Ooh, and that's a point. That is a point for Winterside. Winterside is in the lead 3-2. That is a match point. If Winterside scores one more point, they will win the game, and that will be Celina's first MLS loss this season. However, if Celina scores the next point, then it will be a first-to-5 game, as the MLS rules require that a team win by a margin of 2 points. Are both of you ready?
Ready.
Ready.
3, 2, 1, go. So if Needham scores the next point, then Winterside wins 4-2. If Vicky scores the next point, then the score is... if Vicky scores the next point, then the score is tied 3-3. And then since you have to win by a margin of 2, it'll be a first-to-5 game, and it'll be anyone's game to win. But right now, Winterside has the advantage. It's not usual that we see... Ooh, close call for Needham. It was only the shift key that kept him from walking back into that trench that he had just crossed. Vicky crossing over to get farther away from Needham. Oh, they are getting close to each other. A close call there for Needham. Now Needham's created a bit of an island for himself. Still not an official island that would create a field reset, but definitely taking up the strategy of cornering himself. It looks like Vicky is trying to create a field reset. This is an official island. In fact, they're on 2 official islands, so that is a field reset. The score is still 3-2 in favor of Winterside. Are both teams ready?
Ready.
Ready.
3, 2, 1, go. Looks like this time Vicky gets the smaller side of the field, but that might not matter much because they do occasionally swap over sides, especially in the early game, which is exactly what Vicky is doing. Further it looks like the save is starting. The main strategy during the save is to simply get out of whatever location you're in to avoid being spleefed during the lag. And if a player does not respond to the save correctly, the other player can act offensively and spleef out the ground beneath them during the lag. But it appears both of them survived that save. It looks like Needham is cornering himself on an island, a narrow divide separating him from Vicky over on another island right now. Vicky taking a step back, going over basically field-wise, trying to be as far away from Needham as she can. And Needham has started throwing snowballs, and there now Vicky has responded with her own snowballs. defensive standoff right now. The players simply throwing snowballs at each other. Needham gets the shovel back in his hand. Needham just standing there and watching the snowballs come in. And it looks like Needham is once again creating an official island. That is an official island. Field reset. The score is still 3-2 in favor of Winterside. Are both of you ready?
Ready?
Ready.
3, 2, 1, go. This time it looks like the field is more evenly divided. Of course, in the early game, they tend to switch sides a lot, as Needham and Vicky just did. They both swapped to opposite sides. Vicky making moves like she was about to do it again, but then decided not to. And they are in a standoff. And Needham crosses over. They are getting pretty close to each other, but they've divided that side of the field in half. Both of them getting close to each other right now on this side, dividing that as well. Neither of them managing to spleef each other in, but that was a bit of a more offensive play than we've been seeing in this round so far. Both getting... Oh, Needham crosses over, but so does Vicky. Vicky retreating. Ooh, and they are getting close to each other. Ooh, a close call for Needham right there. He's got himself cornered with a narrow passageway, a narrow, windy passageway separating him from Vicky. Trying to make, looks like trying to make only one possible route to get to him. This could easily be turned into an official island. Up, Needham crosses over. Oop. We're seeing some close calls right there. Vicky retreating from that corner that she had backed herself in. They are now both once again across from a divide from each other. And in a defensive, Vicky crosses over to that part of the field. Needham over to the part that she was just in. And widening the trench even more. And throwing snowballs. We've got both of the teams throwing snowballs at each other now. Looks like Vicky has positioned her food in her offhand so she can eat without having to take the shovel out of her hand. A smart move right there.
I've done like that every MLS game.
I have not noticed that before. That is a smart strategy. I should do that. Although usually if I'm in the situation where I need my shovel in my hand at that moment, I'm also not in a position to stop and eat food. So up, and a somewhat offensive move by Needham. Vicky is backed into an island with only one exit, and that is an official island. That is an official island field reset. Reset it again. Some of the... There we go. Alright. Are you guys ready?
Ready?
The score is still 2-3. 3, 2, 1,
Ready.
go. And they've got that arc trench going on again with Vicky below the arc, Needham above it. It looks like the area above the arc is bigger this time. Ooh, Needham crossing over to Vicky's side. Ooh. Getting close into spleefing Vicky. Vicky retreats over on top of the arc. Looks like they've effectively switched. Oop, and they are both on that side now. They dig a trench between each other while trying to spleef each other in. Neither of them successful in doing that. Both of them still surviving. This is a very defensive spleef game here, and defensive spleef games always take a while. We've been in this game for over half an hour, and we still have one more game left in the series. Although at least it's not like the Shovelers Cup final from the last MLS season, which I believe was between Vicky Poza representing Larkspur and Dragonmoon representing PNW City. That went on for several hours. But right now we can see Vicky hopping across different islands along the field. Meaden staying on his island. Vicky just hopping across the islands that Meaden is not currently on. Meaden getting over close towards the edge where Vicky is. There is basically one path between Vicky and Meaden at the moment. And Vicky creates herself a official island. Field reset. The score is still 3-2 in favor of Winterside. Are you guys ready?
Ready.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
3, 2, 1, go. Alright, this time the trench is more of a straight line than an arc. They are both on the same side. Ooh, and that is the game! Celina has been defeated for the first time in this MLS season. Celina is no longer undefeated. Winterside wins their away game 4-2. We will be right back with the next game in the series between Celina and Winterside. That will be Winterside's home game in Winterside. We'll be right back with that after these messages. You're watching MLS Season 4 on MBS.
Remember how you held me then? Now you got me reaching out. And do you see you got me falling in more times than I can get out. Down in the deep of my mind, I call for you and you're always inside. Down in the deep of my mind, how long do I got to keep you, to keep you? Down in the deep of my mind, I call for you and you're always inside. Down in the deep of my mind, trying so hard not to keep you, to keep you.
welcome back to MLS Season 4 on MBS. It is the second game of the series between Celina and Winterside. Winterside just won their away game 4-2 against Celina, which is Celina's first defeat in MLS Season 4. We'll see if Winterside can keep that up during their home game and sweep the series, or if Vicky Poza of Celina will manage to turn that around. Are both of you ready?
Ready?
Needon, are you ready? Needon?
I do believe that Needon said he would write back, but I don't know if he knows that we're starting.
I saw him say it in chat. I don't think he didn't say he was back yet, so.
Alright, well, it looks like we are awaiting the return of Needon and L. While we wait, for our viewers on MBS, earlier today we live streamed the MGA Raised Stroopwafels Open. That was in New Amsterdam and was won by Needon NL. You can watch our full coverage of it as it was broadcast live right here on our channel. We're also going to be live tomorrow at 7 p.m. GMT. That's in just over 23 hours from now. We're going to be broadcasting the first ISM, a mini GSM format. And then stay tuned to MBS this week. We're going to be broadcasting we're going to be releasing a new episode of our program today. We're going to be releasing coverage of the Mole 10 that happened in late April, early May. And at the end of the week, we're going to be broadcasting the Taco Burrito-a-thon in Kanto. So a lot coming up on MBS in the coming week. Stay tuned for that. Oh, and we'll also be, of course, releasing a new episode of Volpe's Snapshot Review as we do every week. We are tentatively expecting to release that on Tuesday.
Got plenty of background noise there.
Yeah, I
Needon back
think
yet?
Needon on Discord asking when he's gonna come back. He hasn't responded yet.
He has signified in chat that he is back.
Okay, Needon is back. Needon, are you ready? Needon?
Needon.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay.
3, 2, 1, go.
And they're off
And they're
again.
off.
Will this game be as defensive as the last one? It looks like Vicky getting close up. Needon makes an offensive move there right at the start, but still keeping a distance between each other through the use of trenches, as we see in most defensive games, even when things get a little bit heated, even when they get a little bit close to each other and look like they're about to make an offensive move, or when they attempt to make an offensive move and it does not succeed. Needon throwing a snowball up into the air. And they are basically standing still right now in a defensive standoff, remaining at a score of 0-0. Of course, Winterside did pretty well in the last match in Celina. Winterside, the first team to defeat Celina in MLS Season 4. They certainly, or most likely, won't be the last. Celina still hasn't gone up against some of the more talented teams in which it would be a more even match, the teams that usually make it to the playoffs, Celina being one of them. But Needon is the first to defeat Vicky this season. still playing defensively. They've basically swapped sides of the field. Needham putting himself on an island right there. And basically standing still. Vicky all the way in the corner of the field, like she wants Needham to have the incentive to jump over. And Needham's taking it. They get a little bit close to each other, and they dig a trench between each other, further dividing up the field. They're once again divided from each other. Ooh, Needham makes a move in towards Vicky. Vicky misses the jump, and that is a point for Winterside. Winterside leads 1-0.
Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready?
Not yet. Okay, now I'm ready.
Ready?
3, 2, 1, go.
This time Vicky gets the small side of the field. Again, in the early game, there's stupid fucking Dell. With these two players, they tend to swap over a lot right at the beginning of the game, and that looks like that's what's happening right now. At least briefly. Up Needham coming over towards Vicky. Vicky retreating back. They've essentially flipped sides again, but Needham is essentially trying to move towards Vicky, and Vicky is trying to keep a distance from him. Ooh, close call for Winterside right there. Ooh, they are getting pretty close. Needham is starting to play a little bit more offensively, and Vicky is trying to maintain her defensive posture in response. We're going to get a bird's eye view of the field and hold it for a moment while I go plug in my phone. Alright, now our electronics aren't about to die. And still playing defensively still. And that is an official island. Field reset. The score is still 1-0 in favor of Winterside.
Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready?
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 3, 2, 1, go.
They're off on the normal routine, just digging a trench, separating the field, but Needham has had a recent pattern of being the first to jump across towards Vicky. Often that just leads to more stalemate, but it is at least an attempt at an offensive move right there. Needham in a bit of a thin little strip of island, moving over into the corner right there. Vicky with a pretty large expanse starting to throw snowballs at Needham. And they are defensively standing off once again. They're on basically exact opposite corners of the field, not really making moves. Needham sort of inching his way over towards the edge from the corner. Vicky is just standing motionless in the far opposite corner of the field, the farthest away she can be from Needham. And as Needham starts to get closer, Vicky closes in a bit more. Needham crosses, and the game is tied now 1-1.
Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready?
Ready?
I'm ready.
3, 2, 1, go.
Still at their normal routine, digging a big trench down the middle of the field, separating each other. Needham makes a move like he's about to jump over, but really, just making the trench bigger. And we already have an official island. Field reset. Don't really see what the point of that was, but that was a official island.
Ready?
Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready?
Ready.
3, 2, 1, liftoff.
Still following their same pattern. Digging up the field, separating each other. Now the shape that they've dug in the snow looks like a wilted flower. With Vicky standing next to that flower stem. Oop. Needham coming in close. Vicky digs divide between them. Vicky retreats over to that island as Needham is in, and that is a point for Vicky. Celina takes the lead. Celina is in the lead 2-0. Celina,
Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready?
Ready?
3, 2, 3, 2,
Ready.
1, go.
if Celina can win this game, it will be a split series. If Winterside wins this game, Winterside will have swept the series. But right now, Celina has a 2-1 lead. They are 2 points away from winning. You can see some more offensive moves being made by Needham. Vicky did successfully defend against the last offensive move being made, leading him to be spleefed under and leading Celina to score a point. However, other times, especially in the last game, Needham has been successful in his offensive moves. Needham making an offensive move right there. A close call for both of them. Both of them looking like they were right on the edge of the snow next to a divide right there. Vicky, once again, makes a retreat. And they are standing off again. And after a few moments of neither of them really moving, Vicky now heading over towards Needham, a little bit out of character. Usually it's been Needham doing that, but Vicky crosses back over, back to her holding spot, and now they're basically standing still. Vicky running towards the divide like she wants to cross over, but backing down from doing so. And Needham now just standing there. And so is Vicky. Vicky has dropped her shovel on the snow in front of her, and she picks it back up again a moment later. And they are in a defensive standoff. Needham is in a position where he could jump pretty quickly if he wanted to. Computer is acting up today. And they both fall in at roughly the same time. That is a draw. Field reset. The score is still 2-1 in favor of Celina.
Ready?
Ready.
Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready? 3, 2, 1, go.
Oh, Eden making the crossover. Trying to sort of pin. Ooh, and Vicky gets spleefed under. Point
Ladies and
for
gentlemen, are you
Winter.
ready?
A point for Winterside, tying the game 2-2, just like the last game was tied 2-2. Now it's a question of who will score the next 2 points.
Ready?
3, 2, 1, go.
Right now the trench looks like an elephant head being impaled. Actually now it looks like a very weird flying dinosaur bird. Even has an eye. Yep, Eden crossing over. Ooh, close call for both of them right there. Neither of them are playing overly offensively, but we are noticing that when an offensive move does happen, it is usually from Eden NL, and he's having a bit of a mixed record in those offensive moves against Vicky. Some of them are successful, like the one where he scored at the previous point. Some of them do not result in the match ending, both of them survive, and some result in Vicky defending successfully and scoring the point for Celina. Oh, Eden makes an offensive move right there, but they just end up digging a trench between each other. And still locked in stalemate. It looks like there was a bit of lag right there, possibly from the save. Vicky making a crossover to that side of the field. They got the field divided into a weird, actually right now the field sort of looks, ooh, and Vicky scores the point.
Ready?
It is now match point 3-2 for Celina.
Eden, are you ready?
I am ready.
3, 2, 1, match point.
Off yet again. And they've got sort of a crescent-shaped divide. Not actually all that much divide. It's sort of shaped almost like Celina's flag. Vicky on the decidedly smaller side of the field, Eden on the larger side as they continue to be locked in defensive standoff. Right now the divide looks like the claw of Mr. Krabs coming up out of the ground after he was buried alive. That is what it looks like at the moment. Or from a different angle, it looks like a crab that is dancing.
Crab ray? Question mark.
From this angle, it kind of looks like a
Basically what it looks like.
sapling.
Oh, from another angle, it looks like a leaping dolphin. And they are still locked in that defensive stalemate. We are at match point right now. If Celina can score the next point, then the series will have split, where oddly Celina will have lost its home game and won its away game. If Winterside scores the next point, on the other hand, since you have to win by a margin of at least 2, the game will no longer be match point. It'll be 3-3, and then the first to 5 will be the winner. It's an official
Something island.
Island.
It's an official island. The field gets reset.
Are you ready?
Ready?
I'm ready.
3, 2, 1,
Here we
go.
go.
Now it looks like a nice flower that divide. A flower that is now catching on fire. That is what it looks like, a flaming haired flower. From a different angle, it looks sort of like the logo for Disney Channel. And they continue to hold a defensive posture on either side of that divide. Oh, Needon getting close to Vicky, narrowing the gap between them. And now creating what looks like the crazed smile of a psychopath, whose eye just split open after that trench they just dug there with that offensive move. From another angle, it looks sort of like the shipwreck of a sailboat. And it looks like snowballs are flying into the arena from the spectators area. And they're locked in a defensive standoff at opposite corners of the field, almost as far away from each other as they can physically be, throwing snowballs at each other, neither of them making any moves. Of course, we would like to take the time, as Vicky creates a new official island, creating another draw and a field reset, we would like to take the time to apologize to our MBS viewers for how boring this game is. It's the defensive games that are always the least interesting to watch.
Just wait until you and Dragon play again.
I am not looking.
I'm ready, by the way.
I'm not looking forward to broadcasting that.
What about the me versus Dragon game?
That's what I was talking about. All right, are both of you ready?
Ready?
Truly anybody.
All right. Needon, are you ready?
Ready.
3, 2, 1, go.
And again, when it was
they're
Waterville
off
versus
again.
Winterside, it was about as bad.
creating a little bit of a dinosaur in that divide that they are now, looks like a cute little dinosaur sticking out a very long tongue. Although, with that bit of snow that Needham dug out, it looks more like the ghost of a seal playing a trumpet. The ghost of... Needham crosses over. A bit more offensive, a bit of a close call there. The divide now looking more like a telephone with a wired cord. As they once again stand off near opposite corners of the field. Needham crossing over there. Still in that defensive standoff. There was a point in the game where they were starting to have some more offensive moves, mostly on Needham's part, but we have now, that is an official draw. We have had several official draws in a row at this point. They are locked. They are deeply locked in stalemate right now.
Ready.
Ready.
3, 2, 1. Let's finish this, shall we?
Please, and so I could split the series.
Now the field looks like one of the plants from Plants vs. Zombies, the one that shoots peas out of its mouth. Except now with a chemtrail behind it. And now it looks like a blow dryer.
This is
Or
color commentary.
Actually, that looks that you could say that looks like a model of a person, you know, with the ear there and all. A person who happens to be projectile vomiting.
Now Yoshi's here. Maybe he'll talk about what the snow looks like.
Oh, hi, Yoshi. Is Yoshi
He's not in voice. He's just here.
Well, then in that case, he can't talk about it because he's not in the voice channel. Ooh!
There goes
What?
Ricky.
That was an island. That was an island.
That was not. I don't think. I will hold for one moment. I am going to review the footage. An island is 4 blocks, right?
It is five blocks, one way and 4 diagonally.
I just.
That was 3 diagonally.
Let me review.
I'm calling it an island.
Let me hold for a moment.
Like, if you can reach
That
it,
was, yeah, looking on the footage, what you have marked out right now, that is basically the extent of the snow at the point where Vicky was spleefed. That was 3 Does 3 diagonal count as an island?
That is an island.
That is an island, so there was no way at the time to get across, so officially it was already a draw at that
Wait,
point.
hang on.
Skelly says that he thinks it got to islanding before the ground was knocked out. So.
Yeah, that is what it looks like based on the MBS footage. So that is a draw. It was an official island before the ground was dug underneath Vicky, so that point does not count. The score is still 3-2, match point in favor of Celina.
Hang on. I'm pretty sure that I have to recant. The 3 meters is legal. It's 4 meters that's not legal, but it was still 5 on both sides. So
Well,
I don't know
three.
if it's...
It was 3 blocks diagonally. It
Yes,
was more
and-
than.
and I'm-
It was more than 3 blocks in either the X or Z direction.
Yes. Okay then. Are you ready?
Ready.
Ready.
3, 2, 1, go.
They're off once again. The game had started to get a little bit more aggressive, and that trend has reversed. They keep islanding themselves. They are refusing to come over towards each other, making for a very slow-paced game right now. Right now, the field, the trench in the field looks like one of those things that you use to water flowers. Now from this angle, it looks sort of like a garden hose. And they are playing very defensively. Neither of them making moves. Needon was the one making moves before. Needon has stopped making offensive moves. And he's creating another island. Field reset.
Are you ready, ladies and gentlemen?
Ready.
3, 2, 1, go.
Right now, it looks like a flamingo dancing in a nightclub. Now it looks like a wilted, sad, dying musical note. Needon crossing over, making a semi-offensive move. The divide right now looks like a Venus flytrap that is actively in the process of eating Needon. Its mouth wide open and about to clamp down.
I can totally see that.
And Needon, who a minute ago was making an offensive move, now looks like he's creating another island. It's an official island now. Field reset yet again.
Are you ready?
Ready.
Ready.
3, 2, 1, go.
It looks like once again a Venus flytrap is eating Needon, but Needon escapes from it. Now we've got the pipe to a sewage system. And Vicky has started throwing snowballs. Will either of them make a defensive move, or will they island again?
From my point of view, I do believe it's the Stockholm metropolitan area.
Interesting. To me, it looks a little bit like deformed New York City. You've got Manhattan right there. To the right, you've got Queens. Staten Island is pushed up towards Manhattan, and Brooklyn doesn't exist. And New Jersey is everything to the west and south.
Well, I'd be remiss to have a deformed New York without any mention of Flushing Bay or Jamaica Bay. Those, of course, are the homes of some of America's worst airports. Plus,
Needham goes up into Harlem and now crosses over into New Jersey. Right now, they're both about Vicky in about Monmouth County. Looks like Needham is over in Middlesex. Vicky actually not far from the area in New Jersey where my Nana lives, where I'll be in 2 days. Of course, it looks like Middlesex County, New Jersey is being torn asunder by Needham.
From my point of view, if you're looking if you're looking west, then the area where Needham is could be considered as the Flushing Bay and the western parts of Long Island Sound. But of course, Needham is islanding to bring this game to an insufferable 2-3.
That is another island. Field reset. It'd be great if one of you could score a point. That would be nice.
I'm trying to. Don't
And
worry.
the suffering, so I can.
I'm trying to actively islands.
Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready to make another map of a deformed New York City?
Right.
Sure, ready.
3, 2, 1. Newark sucks.
I wouldn't know. I've never lived in Newark. Newark has a nice train station, though.
I was referring to the airport and not the city.
Oh, the airport. Yeah. I've never been to the airport, but that's basically what I've heard about it. The only New York area airport I've flown out of is JFK. JFK is dependent on what terminal you're in. If you're in Terminal 5, it's great.
What about Terminal 8? That's America.
Okay, right now the trench in the field looks like a horse with an injury on its back leg.
Charlie.
I feel like I'm starting to develop an injury on my back leg.
They get a little bit. They get
makes it extremely
close to
offensive
each
move.
other. Oh. Getting some close calls. The game is starting to heat up a little bit more.
Dean charges.
I don't know what the field looks like right now, but it's some sort of animal.
It's something.
Some
know
sort
what
of
it is, but
animal
it's
with a debilitating health effect.
Basically.
I would very much call it one of the Nordic metropolitan areas in Scandinavia or Norway. Lots of islands and fjords.
Up from this angle, it looks like a happy face, one that's really, really happy with a lot of broken teeth. Just a really wide smile right there. If you look
What
to,
orientation? I
if
don't
you
see
look,
it.
If you look to the east, it looks like a really wide smiley face.
Okay, I can kind of see that. Broken
I
jaw
would
and
sing
all,
the
yeah.
Dick Van Dyke here, but
Very
you
broken
probably
teeth
don't want
in
that.
there. Vicky on the nose, or right between the eyes. Needham standing on the broken teeth, but now over by the right side of the lip. Yep, getting close to each other again, and there's more retreating. Vicky
This could be
continuing to try to stay away from Needham. Needham crossing over onto the teeth of the face, further deforming the man's jawline.
This could be an incredibly deformed
he-
version
now-
of half of the DFW airport
Now the
terminal
guy,
complex.
now the guy just looks like a psychopathic serial killer.
Indeed.
With the eyes, it seems
Oh,
that he is
oh,
SpongeBob.
oh. Oh. We are getting down. Oh, Vicky retreats. Okay, now it looks like very significant facial deformities for this man, but he does still seem to be happy, so that is what matters.
Penis is all that counts.
Unlike all of us here in Winterside.
Indeed.
Even crossing over the guy's mouth and up onto his nose right now, and up getting rid of some of his broken teeth. So he is doing a little bit of cleanup there. I accidentally my push to talk key is Alt, and I accidentally Alt tabbed out of Minecraft. That's great.
GG.
How about we call this game the Insufferable Game?
No, that's
Insufferable
reserved
guck.
for that's reserved for any game with dragon.
I stand corrected.
All right, now the guy just looks like he's gone completely fucking insane.
Sounds
Yeah.
about
Evil
me right
SpongeBob
now.
wearing
Other
a
than that,
white
or
beater.
extremely stretched out jaw, like.
Up.
I think it's
And
an
the
evil
snowballs.
SpongeBob with no mouth and wearing a wife beater.
You know, that's not a bad interpretation. The face does kind of look like... Oh, and that is
Thank
the
you!
game! Finally! Jesus fuck.
I was really hoping for you to get greedy, and I finally got my wish. I tied the series. That's all I care about now.
Fucking it, finally. Well, after about an hour and 20 minutes of broadcasting, that is the series between Celina and Winterside. Celina lost their away game, or lost their home game, won their away game. That first game in the series was the first time this season that Celina has been defeated, but then they came back in the game in Winterside, where they won 4-2, so that is a split series. Of course, you can watch all of the previous MLS games this series that we broadcast. Those are available on our channel, and MBS will be broadcasting more games in the future. We'll have at least one scheduled game next weekend like this one, and we also occasionally broadcast some unscheduled games that occur spontaneously. As far as other MBS programming, make sure to stay tuned tomorrow for the ISM live at 7 p.m. GMT. For now, from MBS Sports and Games in Winterside, I'm Kitty Catwoman 231, and this has been MLS Season 4 on MBS.